FGWR 967.4765321 FM.
On tonight's show, we have the wonderful Cameron Laing as our first guest on this extravaganza that is the Marshall Kilkelly Incident live from the famous Wuyts Studios. What other show songs do we have? We'll get to know them soon. Let's start the show, shall we?
Let's start the show.
Hello.
Merry Christmas. Can I say Merry Christmas?
You can say Merry Christmas.
It's Easter, so...
It's April. Good.
No is the answer. But thanks very much for joining us, Cameron, for our debut.
Thank you, Cameron.
First time we've ever had a podcast. Ever, apart from the one that we tried and didn't work. Cheers.
Cheers.
And the one we filmed, but recording episode 2.
Yeah. This is technically the second episode we recorded.
And thanks for piecing together that intro there. It was
I think Victoria
a masterwork. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Victoria.
Well
Victoria's
done.
handiwork.
Victoria,
Tremendous.
I think it could have used more newsreel. I'm a fan of the newsreel. I think we should have 20 minutes
We can do
of
it in
this
post.
voice
We'll punch it in the whole way.
at all times.
Okay, good.
And then we really got a show in our hands. I think we're going to
Great.
start off the show with our first song already. This is, well, maybe it's good if Cameron actually introduces this one. So, Gidon Carmel is a regular here at the famous Wuyts Studios. He has his own little area here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe we played a song and we
A
talked
little
about
corner. It's got a dirty corner.
He got a dirty corner, and he has a fabulous song with Ben Wuyts, another staple of this here studio, and it is called The Great Pretender. Let's hear it.
Overdose, I will do neither.
Beautiful, Joe. This week in Berlin music history, a few things happened. I played a gig where a gentleman who shall remain nameless was playing. It was Gut and Gutter. If you track it, you can figure it out. And his girlfriend heckled us the entire gig. That was wonderful.
Good.
And now, and something else happened that is very funny. A laugh right. Michael Brinkworth laughed so high, he ascended into space. Anyway, now on with the show. Here we go. Our first guest ever is Cameron Laing.
Cameron.
Hello.
Cameron, half Scottish, half English. Tell us more. What's
You're
going
half
on?
Scottish.
No, it's a lie. I've just been saying that since Brexit.
Wow, okay. Good.
It makes people accept him more.
I have Scottish names and one Scottish grandparent.
Okay.
But as a kid, for whatever reason, I used to think I was more Scottish than the rest of my family, which made no sense.
Is Lang a Scottish name?
Yeah, with an I in it.
Oh,
Cameron James Conrad Laing. There's my
right.
That's racist. In fact, I used to think I was so Scottish as a kid that I used to support Jimmy White over Stephen Hendry, thinking that Jimmy White was Scottish because his name's
Jimmy White, man. The whirlwind.
My teddy bear was Jimmy.
Henry was absolute dry. Like,
And Hendry was actually Scottish.
I have to say,
Jimmy White's English.
yeah, Jimmy White is
What an idiot.
he was Jimmy White was a guy I was always rooting for as well. Actually,
underdog.
Jimmy White reckons crack cost him 10 world championships.
crack. He was on crack.
Yeah, he was on crack.
Well,
he was on crack at the Crucible.
Incredible.
The autobiography.
That's a bad miss.
He has an autobiography. Can we
he was like,
fact check?
can't believe it now. When I look back on it, what the fuck?
No shit.
He has an autobiography that he wrote. He must have written himself, or maybe a ghostwriter or whatever. But I think the crack
the
comes
whirlwind,
into
man.
it. I think the crap comes into it.
Back in the day, you could,
Having the
Love
crack,
Jimmy White.
White. Look him up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
that's what the studio is all about.
Scottish legend.
and which studio is it?
The famous Skull Watch studio here in Berlin, and it was set up by this guy here,
And-
Cameron Laing.
Hello.
We owe a
Evan
debt
Allen
to this man
set it up.
here. I have to say,
Literally.
2017, is that when you set up this studio? Is that true?
Legally.
Legally, because I recorded my first ever EP in 2017, and I want to know how early on I was. I know the exact date because it was Valentine's Day. It was February 14th. Is that February? That's Valentine's Day?
Yep.
February 14th, I was in the room adjacent, and I want to know how
It was
long
the
were
only
you
room
open?
back then.
How long were you open before then?
Not long.
Not long.
I was around at some point then. As
17
well, I
as
think,
well, yeah.
It was
Jesus.
just this one room,
It's just the one room. We had to do drums.
and drums were in
Yeah, but
right
you-
behind
you
your back.
had-
Even
you
live
had-
videos, man. Live videos of me in the corner
Yeah.
with a laptop before I poured brandy all over it.
But you did have this room available, no?
It was empty, but it was just where we kept the
There was
rats.
kittens in here.
The kittens was 2018.
All right, okay.
Right,
They moved in after the rats.
They moved in later.
Because I have a vague memory that there was some kind of sink here. Is that true?
No, that's not true. But we had a electric oven.
Oh, okay, that's what it
I
was.
remember the electric oven.
I remember you
could
actually saying
cook
there's
one of those like
might be a
microwave
rat.
pizzas and
Yeah.
or like the frozen pizza in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
But we abandoned that during the kitten breeding period because I left paper on top of the hobs when they were on and set fire to it and
Okay.
almost
Okay.
smoked out the kittens.
Smoked it out.
Smoked them out. They deserved it.
Do you wear a gold watch?
No, but I have my dad's gold watch. That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
The famous gold watch.
My romantic story is that he pawned it to pay for this, but actually, no, he still has the gold watch. The gold watch still exists.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Have you
When I-
taken
when I-
it
when I
to a
took it-
watchsmith?
Yeah.
What's a person
They
who
said they
fixes a
fixed
watch?
it, but they didn't. An idiot.
But in general, like, what is a person?
Just
who
like the
fixes
person who said they fixed the piano. Can we get into that?
Maybe we'll just put a name up at the end of like, don't go to this piano guy.
Okay, let's have another song, shall we? Because
Yeah,
I
Kilkelly.
think we're going to keep it quite quick
True.
pace.
We're
This
going to
one.
introduce one of the hosts, right? So you first.
There you go.
How are you? I'm Kilkelly.
This is Kilkelly.
Here's one of my songs.
You make it look so easy, so you do. When you're trying those arms as you do. If you're making your way through, well, I don't mean to pry, but could you put me to use? Anywhere but here will do. Oh, anywhere, won't you take me there? I'd take any old excuse. You call it any way you see. What once looked good don't make any sense now to me. And you say that it beggars belief. How I can sound so bitter and ask of you so sweet. It's anywhere but here will do. Anywhere, oh won't you take me there? I'd take any old excuse. Anywhere but here will do. Or anywhere, won't you take me there? I'd take any old excuse to take after you.
Welcome back.
Good time.
That was Kilkelly.
We forgot
Anything but here will do.
anywhere but here will do.
But we did forget to mention The
yes.
Great Pretender.
It's quite important that
The first song we played, we
Yes.
said absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And I think that's what Ben White would have liked us to do. Is his name not Ben White?
Ben White.
Ben White.
Close enough.
Plurals.
Yeah.
Who has them? Just Ben.
Just
anyway,
He earned
the
it.
Gidon Carmel. I think he would have actually enjoyed if we talked about it a little bit here. So there's a concept album here. We got a concept album
he's
on
been
our
on a
hands.
quest to make
Concept album,
the
People, when you hear the term concept album, they roll up their sleeves awkwardly, and then
Ready for violence.
and they're ready for hooliganism. But yeah, tell us a bit about the album there, Cam.
So yeah, the story of Goabi is the album. So Giddy wrote. So Giddy's, as we mentioned briefly, the house drummer and a long-time collaborator of mine. He came up with this story about an alien called Goabi, and the story of Goabi is based over 12 chapters about his crash landing on Earth and the subsequent experimentation and tragic demise at the hands of humanity. And 12 different Berlin-based artists take a chapter. So the first song about him landing is written by Giddy and Sophie. The second song with Giddy and Ben, and then there's a whole series with Lotus and Joan and Witch and Monk.
And that was Sophie Sutton, by the way, who was great, who was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. And I even came
the
out.
first
of
song was,
retirement
what was the
for
name of the
Death
first song?
Wake Up.
Wake Up.
So yeah, 12 different tracks with 12 different artists.
That's a good way of talking about actually the scene in general, though. We should talk about that. The fact that all these people have recorded here and they're all hanging out here and they're all fucking
Well, this place is
individual
kind of,
morons and
Yeah.
maestros in their own right,
it's
aren't
become
they?
one of the cultural hubs of the scene that we have, the thriving, Berlin singer-songwriter and folk scene, and all of its various derivatives. And the story of Goabi is a great example of a way that people collaborate here and get together and work together and write together. It's such a big team, not only the 12 artists and everything, but with Giddy and me and Tim Hook, Felix, Renee,
Buchner.
Felix Buchner, the legend that is Sexy Felix.
You have a thing for
Such a-
Felix, don't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed this.
He's my man crush.
I'm actually meeting him tomorrow. I'm very excited.
I'm jealous.
He's a. Do you know who Felix is?
I'm not sure. I've met
Felix was here back in 2017 for the very first EP that I did. That is now hidden from the airwaves. And
a glorious head.
He has a glorious head.
He just has a glorious head.
And
from all
great
angles.
Yeah.
Huh?
Love Felix very much.
Yeah, he's an incredible bass player. I met him through Brian Grayson, who is another famous person around the scene here.
Everyone's famous here.
Yeah, everyone's famous or infamous. And he said to me, "You can make beautiful music with him, brother." That's what he said.
Right.
And I believed him. And then I met Felix, and I was like, this guy's incredible. I love him. I just love him. I didn't even know I didn't even know what he sounded like. I just knew I liked the cut of his jib. And we were talking about Twin Peaks and Tom Wuyts for about an hour and a half, and we were just drinking. And then I was like, I bet you he's brilliant. And sure enough, he is astonishing, isn't he?
Great bass player.
Fucking is, yeah. All right.
And a sexy man.
And okay, let's keep this to yourself here, Cameron. Let's keep this to yourself. Should we get on with more tunes? Is this a quick-paced one? Are we doing a quick-pace
We
episode?
can if you like, unless it's, you know.
Wait, we just played your song.
Some other comments.
Yes,
True.
we did.
We got sidetracked because we forgot to mention the first one.
This bass player is.
So that was
Felix
Kilkelly.
Faulkner. Yeah.
Kilkelly.
That's me. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anybody here will do.
Yeah. I think I played it in
One
a
of the many
different key
hits.
now. Actually, I
Love
think
that
I do it
song,
in a
man.
different key. That's a fun fact there.
Oh, so talented.
Thank you very much.
Do you use a capo?
I don't anymore because there was this guy who was I started out in the open mic scene with this fella, and he was just like, "You're not very good at hitting the notes. I think you need to lower your tuning." And I went, "Thanks." And I did it, and it actually helped quite a bit.
What was it before? You were in the.
It's no, not for that song. I was trying to do riskier songs, and he was just like, "Hey, why don't you just lower it a bit?"
Okay.
So
Riskier
your voice,
songs.
and then I ended up doing it, and now I've gotten addicted to
I've
changing
noticed.
tunings.
Yeah. Tuning's down. Yeah.
Tunings are all
nice.
over the place,
Yeah,
and now I've
which is
realized
great.
I just wasn't training my voice whatsoever, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Have you ever had a situation where you've chosen your tuning with your capo,
Yeah.
but it's the wrong one, and you're starting the song, and the band's going to come in halfway through, but you're in the wrong key?
Yeah, I think we've all bloody had that.
I've done that.
You got a story? Tell us a story.
I did it with the stage piano.
Yeah.
I had the transpose button, and I just forgot to press it. And I did everything in easier keys because I was trying to play stuff that wasn't really good enough to play. So I was in the completely wrong key, and the band only come in halfway through. And my old music was very miserable and serious and took itself very seriously. And you're on stage with a load of drunk people talking and only half listening. And you're playing and getting really annoyed that people aren't listening. And then there's a certain moment where you're just extremely thankful that no one's listening. Because the whole band comes in a completely different key. And no one knows, like, do I change to them?
Yeah.
Or do they? So you just carry on
Cameron's just fucking
until the end of the song. And there's nothing you can
Damn
do.
this guy.
You just have to keep going and just hope
He's
that
so
someone
complex.
figures it out.
I see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Off key is the new on key.
Yeah, it was one of many fantastic shows that we played.
I think me and Joe played a show recently together that was exactly like that, where neither of us knew what we were doing and we were playing together. Me and Joe were
surprises.
doing a pub gig, and me and Joe had to play together, and it felt like that. And then we introduced a harmonica into the equation, which is a person we've never played with before in our lives. Resounding success, though. We got there in the end, didn't we?
Got there.
It's jazz.
It was jazz.
It's all jazz.
Speaking
Very
of
good.
which, shall we bring up our next song? I think it
What is
is
it, Conor?
Jem Bosatta,
this
who
guy.
is, can we just say, lovely gent.
Lovely
All right.
jam.
Lovely
Wonderful.
gent of a gem. He's a gem of a gent.
This
Hit it.
song, I found it recently the other day online.
Which one are we playing, by the way?
Cases.
Okay.
With the animated video.
Yeah,
I completely missed this coming out.
I don't.
We recorded
I've
it here
never
2
heard
years
it
ago.
before in my life.
Completely missed it coming out, and it's
What's it called?
beautiful.
Cases.
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 I've forgotten how good it was, but I'd never seen the video either, and it's this beautiful animation, and I saw it and just felt like an absolute
Nice.
arse for not knowing it came out.
I'm a little confused too because I definitely follow him and I like
I think we
him.
all saw Killer, the one
Yeah.
with the film, with
Yeah,
him kind of on the
yeah,
beach
yeah.
and everything, but the animation
Good
one
old murder ballad
completely
there.
missed it.
Who doesn't love a murder ballad?
Me.
On that note, here is Cases
Jem
by Jem
doesn't.
Bosatta.
Cheers, Jem.
faces. I'm a traveler with one too many cases, left a little piece of me in one too many places, known the naked bodies of one too many faces. Oh, carry on. I have known too many faces. Carry on. Me and all my cases, me and all my songs, me and all my picture postcards. Oh, carry on. Me and all my picture. Carry on. I'm a fighter with one too many a bruise, and the battles that I lose have taught me one too many truths, and the ones I run away from have worn away my shoes. Oh, carry on. I've been running far too long. Carry on. Me and all my cases, me and all my songs, me and all my broken bridges. Oh, carry on. Me and all that's broken. Me and all my cases, me and all my songs, me and all my curses, me and all my wrongs. Me and all my curses. Carry on. Now I'm always welcome, then I'm always leaving. Never found a town that gave me ground to plant a seed in. Never found a sky that held the cloud that I believe in. Oh, carry on. I've been running far too long. Carry on. Me and all my cases, me and all my songs, me and all my holy scriptures. Oh, me and all that's holy. Me and all my cases, me and all my songs, me and all my curses, me and all my wrongs. Me and all my curses. Carry on, carry on, carry on.
Jem Bosatta on Cool Time. How many names has this got?
Cool
Let's go
time.
watch radio, the Marshall Kilkelly Incident.
It's called Cool
Cool
Time.
Time.
Cool Time.
This is Cool Time.
Cool Time with
Famous Go Watch.
Joe Marshall and the Rascal Kilkelly. Welcome back to our segment here with the Chief. We call him the Chief. This is Cameron Laing. We got too excited in the first two segments. We're going to slow the fuck down. You guys, I've noticed, got a delicious drink. I have this tiny swig of one, I think, mouthful of wine.
In a tumbler.
And that shows you the hierarchy.
Like a crescent.
I'm the hired hand, and these are the chieftains. Just let that hang. Let's just let it hang.
So Cameron, how did you get to, like, what made you lead down this path of becoming a studio
What got me in the
mogul? Yeah.
Well, the honest answer is when I was a younger, healthier man, and I was a singer and performer and blah, 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 I hated going to studios. Like, I hated it. I hated people looking at me through the window whilst I'm making the most ridiculous faces known to man, trying to hit top C and chest voice and stuff. And so eventually I kind of, I'd recorded myself a little bit, just on 4 tracks and stuff like this back in the old days in London, and demoed some things. So I knew a little tiny embryo of how to do the job, but like anywhere near enough to be good at anything. But I got to the point where I would want to send the engineer home so I could record the vocals on my own.
Because you feel uncomfortable in the presence of
when you
other
have the
people
window
singing?
and
Or?
you're normally in this bright, sterile room, and you have the window, and you can see all the band are having a chat, on their phones or whatever, and it just feels strange, It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel intimate. You're trying to get the performance, like the performance of your song, like the one that people might hear more than once, like a gig or something, for example. And so I just wanted to get to the point where I could at least record my own vocals on my own. And then I took this place, like the first room in the basement, everything else here was empty, to start having like a kind of live work space where I could work on songs and not have, drunk Australians outside my bedroom window vomiting on the street in Kreuzberg, or people complaining about the noise and stuff. So it was like a composition room and mini recording room for me to work on this album I was doing. And then I started to have problems with my voice, and it was going down, basically, the whole scenario. And I couldn't really sing anymore. We had our final show at Berghain Cantina. Disaster.
Was this with Bunny Suit?
Yeah, so we'd changed to my name by that point. But
And you were signed by Universal at this point?
Publishing, yeah. And so you're kind of putting all that pressure on yourself. Like, I guess this is a shot, right? You're living in a Volkswagen, and you get a deal and stuff, and then didn't really work out, which is fine. It happens. But I started to have these problems with my voice, and figured when the band broke up, and it was like, what am I going to do? Like, I've not done anything else for like a decade, And a few people have been interested in booking me as a producer, because with my band, I did a lot of sound design work and different things. So some people had said, like, maybe you could help us record our record. So I did a few bad jobs for people, like trying to learn like what I'm doing and trying to put some good input in, but without the technical knowledge. And I had some equipment, etc. And we had this room. And then I wasn't too sure what to do. And Victoria, who's over there, hello.
Who's on the camera?
She's on the camera. Victoria suggested, maybe you could, make it into a little studio and work with people, record people. And I didn't have enough money for rent and stuff. I was so broke, and I had some savings that I'd given to my best friend back in England because I knew I would waste it. And I was a bit too embarrassed to ask him for enough money to pay rent. So I thought, well, actually, Victoria's idea is gold. If I start a business, I don't lose as much face. I can say to my friend, send me everything. Send me all my money back, because I'm starting a business. It sounds less idiotic than I can't pay rent.
Just need that cash, man.
so I just kind of jumped in that kind of like, well, if I start a business, then people won't, my best friend won't think I'm such an idiot. Yeah. And started a little studio.
And it
snowballed into the enormous monster that it is.
But it's always had this kind of underlying, like this, the ethos. I don't know the ethos, but like
the philosophy of
the philosophy is that like people that were also in your situation can come here and make music and record music and not feel like they're in this position of like, holy shit, I've just like taken a loan out or whatever to record an album. You know,
yeah, exactly. Because the reality is that like, even though we charge about half, so I wanted to do everything the opposite of what I didn't like about going to the studio myself. So, you know, lower lighting, you know, people can drink and smoke, and it doesn't matter, you know, like make yourself at home, it's okay. And make it affordable. So people can actually take time to make a record when possible, or if rush just, it and just cram it in, but at least get something.
Yeah.
You know? But the reality of the world we live in, which of course anyone watching this who doesn't make music might not have any idea, is that making a record is really expensive. So even if you're charging half the market rate like we do, you're still talking about a couple of €100 a day. And there's not many things that we spend €200 a day on. Like if we take a hotel, I'm pretty sure we're not taking €200 a day.
Rent is like €200 a month.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, it's all very well being like really cheap compared to the other options. But the reality is, it's really difficult to make a record. It's difficult to afford it. And especially for singer-songwriters that have to take all the expenses on their own, don't have backing. They need musicians, they need mixing engineers, they need arrangements, they need everything, you know, to have the bigger sound. It's really difficult. So it was kind of the first priority of the studio when we started, was to say like, we want to try to actually support the community, you know, like I felt I had good support when I was working, but it wasn't enough, and I wanted to try and be the thing that was enough, you know.
And now that you've kind of got a lot of gear and stuff as well, I've noticed you sort of encourage other people to take the gear with them, or like and record things at home. Me, for example. But like other people.
I said to you, Joe, I don't want to record you anymore, man. Take a mic, record yourself at home.
Yeah, but like, you know, you're very open with giving the skills out, and this is like because like a lot of people can record music at home.
Yeah, well, we got it
sure.
all for free from sure, so I just give it to you.
And a prime example would be your collaboration with Rufus and Jess, good friends of ours, Rufus Coates and Jess Smith. They came into you after they moved to Berlin from Ireland, and they were much in the same boat as I was, but they had a full giant band in Ireland, and obviously the band's not coming over. So you took a bit... Because I don't think it's just you're giving out, the affordable rates or whatever. You actually do help produce these albums as well. I think that's a good example. When they came over, you kind of molded together a sound that I would call, typical now of the Berlin folk scene. I think there is a sound that you're involved in. So you're kind of also in the sound in a way, you know? No?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the producer for a lot of people, and I'm writing a lot of the arrangements for a lot of people, and moving things from the direction they were in into different ones, and sometimes that filtrates down into other artists, so that everyone has their own thing going on, but it feels like it's part of a movement or a scene, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And with Rufus and Jess, they wanted to record a more or less acoustic record, acoustic guitar and two vocals like they are live, and we kind of snuck in a bit of sound design on a few songs and some piano and some bits and pieces, and it kind of became the embryo for what they felt was their new direction.
Yeah,
which is why for the record we're making now, there's quite a collaborative approach where, of course, they're bringing songs in. Jess is recording all kinds of things at home, like sewing machines, and pitching them down and doing, like beginning all this sound design process. And then I have the freedom to play, keys and bass and a bunch more sound design, or do orchestra arrangements or whatever.
Maybe we should hear a song by then.
Maybe let's put one on.
Yeah, let's put one on.
Yeah.
And this is what it sounds like when Cameron Laing...
What are we gonna play? The World is Burning.
The World is Burning, yeah.
Okay.
So it's the first single from the next record.
Nice video.
Yeah, Victoria also making the videos here in the empty basement. Thanks, Victoria. So yeah, World is Burning. Yeah, let's hear it.
The
fuel the flames or watch it all burn. These lies are told just to confound us. These lies are worn just like a cloak. Is this the sign of passive resignation? In charred ground the seeds grow slow. We need a light to find the answer. We need a light to help us grow. Conflict is brought to our eyes, and the world we see is not one we know. The trouble's brewed and now it's not the time for lies. In discourse we must find hope.
Come on, play us a tune there.
Jingle.
You need a jingle. If we don't have a jingle, Joe, do the piano. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gets to the point in every man's life where he has to ask the important questions. And the important question right now is, how did you guys meet? No, how did you actually come to be this despicable duo that we all know and hate together and love?
How did we meet? I don't, Cameron. I think
I was working with the legendary man Crazy Sean.
All right, okay. I met Crazy Sean.
Can we hear more about Crazy Sean? I don't know anything about Crazy Sean, and that I mean I'm feigning not knowing because I want the audience to know Crazy Sean.
Crazy Sean. I mean, I call him Crazy Sean. He probably doesn't like that. Sean Cassell.
He probably doesn't like that.
He's a wonderful man who, at the age of 60, has more energy and life than anybody I've ever met by 100 million miles, and is an outrageous and wonderful human. And he was working. I won't go into too many stories about Crazy Sean because they're so ridiculous. But we were working with Crazy Sean, and he had a sax player called Cam Hassard.
Ah, the great Cam.
The great Cam Hassard.
So that's how you met Cam?
That's how I met Cam.
Fuck.
So Sean came here, had these songs to lay down, and that's a whole other topic and everything. But Cam was in playing sax, and then Cam, I think, at some point was kind of like, hey, I mean, I've written a couple of songs, I could record them as well. So Cam came in for a day. We made the fastest EP known to man. And then I think you met Cam at a party somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And he recommended coming.
And then
coming
you
up here
talked
or
about music
something.
or whatever, and he mentioned the studio, and you came in,
Came by, yeah.
and did the same thing, and named all the songs after my cat.
It's true.
Alan's not doing so good at the minute, unfortunately. Poor Alan.
Yeah,
Well,
thoughts and prayers for
Thoughts and prayers for Alan.
But Joe wrote an excellent song and named it for no reason whatsoever, Alan the Studio Cat.
Excellent.
And then followed it up with Alan's Lunch, Alan's Breakfast, which we abandoned.
We abandoned Alan's High Tea.
I think it's important
Alan's
we
concubine.
tell people at home who Alan is. Alan is basically the trademark of Famous Gold Watch. It's
I'm sure we can get
this
a picture
cat
of Alan.
that we all know and love, who wanders into the room every now and again when you're recording. And it's well needed because you're having a very stressful time recording music, and then there's a cat who's just being the absolute pinnacle of loveliness.
And she's managed to get herself onto all kinds of records, not only as the namesake of all of Joe's songs, and some other people's songs too. There was a bonus track, which is just me randomly shouting into the talkback mic on an album, one of the first albums I made here that was ended up being called Alan. And she's credited on lots of people's records. And she managed to get her meowing through the live room doors into the mics for Jamie Collier's band's live recording about a song about a stray cat. And if you solo the room mics, you can't hear it in the record, but if you solo the room mics, you can just hear it going...
If you haven't heard Jamie Collier, Jamie Collier is incredible. We have to get Jamie on this.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's an absolute gent. Yeah, I think we're getting to the stage now where it's reminiscing as if like it's the bygone days of the studio, but actually the studio is just taken off at the minute now. We've been knocking around the old studio now for so long now that it's become almost like second fiddle to what we all do, but actually it is unique that we actually have a place that we can all come to and we can actually explore. Like, I'm coming here on Sunday and we're going to do some strange fucking shit on Sunday. I'm already excited about doing it. And I don't think that exists everywhere. And why is it possible that it exists here? So how did you actually even get the fucking rent? And we're living in a Stasi basement right now, aren't we? Isn't this a Stasi basement?
It's like some old Stasi archive bunker thing.
There's like 8 rooms that are all us able to do whatever the hell we want. This is ridiculous that we're allowed to do this. Right now we're doing
It's a Berlin thing.
It's a Berlin
this
thing?
would be impossible in London.
Do you think it's going to be impossible in 5 years in Berlin to do stuff like this? Like, are we in the death throes of a dying Berlin?
I know some of the prices that people are paying for rooms now, music rooms, and it is getting difficult. But that's also why it's so important that you have places like Kindelstuben and Space Medusa and all of your nights, like Open Sofas and the Thunderous Madness, and then a studio like this one, and there's others as well, of course, that's helping the music community to exist. Places you can play, places you can record without going into crazy debt and stuff like this, because the rest of the world gets tougher for musicians. No one buys music now, and streaming is a joke. And people were playing gigs for hat money and things like this, and then you have to go and make a record, and the standards get ever higher, and you have to hit those standards. So it's important that whatever happens in the future of Berlin, it's important that there are certain institutions, live venues, studios, labels, etc., that actually try and keep this alive. Because what do you end up with in Berlin when the music dies? You end up with loads of dodgy architecture that will be replaced with H&M's and Starbucks. Like no one's going to come for that.
It's already on the way.
Yeah. So.
Jesus, sorry, I brought down the tone instantly, haven't I?
But also, I think a catalyst for the studio was Joe recording, 15 songs named after Alan the Studio Cat, because at the end of the day, when a cat's that famous and all your songs are named after it, people are going to take notice, So I think Joe Marshall was almost...
cat?
Of the scene, man. Of the scene.
Don't you know that your whole album was all about the cat, man? It wasn't about you.
All together.
Don't be egotistical, Joe. It's about the cat.
Songs about the cat. Joe Marshall was exclusively responsible for gluing this entire tapestry together.
Really?
Speaking of which, we should hear a Joe Marshall song.
I think
he is one of our hosts.
Would be one of the greatest things ever if we heard. What are we going to do? What are we going to hear from you? I'm tearing this up because it has no information whatsoever.
You got to name
a song. Nothing on it.
Well, the only song I have a video for is The Alleged Disaster. Let's crack it on.
Let's crack it on.
Let's hear it.
Joe Marshall.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
What a man.
Hold on. It's
His musical talent.
as Tom
on
Wuyts
display.
said, it's been a while since I drank champagne. How do you even fucking... Here it comes, right? Okay, there we go. All right, everybody. For the first ever
Episode of Cool Time.
cool time ever. The Marshall Kilkelly Incident live.
Live on Famous Gold Watch Radio TV podcast 96.3745112.657 FM.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Here, and please pour yourself a glass, Dan and Victoria.
We haven't mentioned Dan. There's a guy.
We have a
Dan.
Dan.
here.
Dan is my friend. Actually,
Hello, Dan.
Dan is who taught me how to play guitar, actually. So there you go.
He's responsible.
I just saw Dan out there playing classical gas.
He was playing classical gas, and he had gas, and that makes it more special. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, wonderful.
To 500 more
we'll get our
years of the
glasses.
famous Gold Watch.
Yes. Cheers.
Thanks so much. It's an honor knowing you, gentlemen. It's been an
Cheers,
absolute
Dan.
pleasure.
Cheers, Vika.
Cheers, Vika.
So I'm coming in on Sunday, and I can't wait to record. And I look forward to recording here. It's a
Choir.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Choir session.
Alexandra
choir?
Spencer is in the choir. Lotta St. Joan is in the choir. And Stephanie Hannon is in the fucking choir. All three of them. I can't believe it. Can't believe it's
All
actually
great
happening.
singers.
All fucking great singers, yeah.
Ah.
And Lotta was like, I can't make rehearsal, so we wing it. And I was like, sounds great.
The most Conor thing ever.
But Alex and Steph, we're actually going to have a wee training session tomorrow.
Okay,
That's
great.
what we're going to
Fantastic.
do. But Lotta, she's incredible. I was playing a gig with her last week, and she was just like this close to my head, and she was singing. I was like, what is going on with your voice? It's so incredible. It like quivers in ways that I didn't even know was humanly possible. Anyway, Joe, we just heard your song. It sounded absolutely incredible. I've heard it played live many times, but I think that's the first time I ever heard it played on the old recorded
All right, okay. Nice.
Massive tune.
I haven't drank any yet. Have you?
I was just saying, Joe's record is one of the ones, if not the one that I've listened to the most of all the records I've made here.
That's great.
Just for fun.
Yeah, you got so much
good.
joy in the way of doing it, you know?
And Vika actually put the video together there at the end. Very nice.
Not to mention, because you recorded hand claps for Nigel. There's a song called Nigel that didn't make it on the album.
No.
It might be on the next one.
I'll be on the next one, yeah.
Victoria,
Nigel never made it.
Nigel didn't make it on.
The best thing about Joe,
Okay.
I gotta say this.
How can a song called Nigel
gotta
not
say
be
this
a
about
top
Joe.
5 hit? That's all I'm saying.
none of the songs had names. Obviously, they were all just named after Alan.
Right.
And then there was one called The Hopeful Pump Organ, I guess named spontaneously about the pump organ sitting in the corner waiting to be played.
I was just playing that before.
And then we had Nigel and whatever else we had, you know. And then the greatest thing was the day before the album went live, Tommy told me, Tommy was doing label management. Tommy told me, Joe's changing the name of everything. Yeah, the album Occasionally Productive, we changed to Occasional Products, and the song Maintain has been changed to Still Maintain.
That's not a big leap.
It's not a
That's
big
not a
leap.
big
Come
leap.
on, man. We
Still
don't need to
Maintain sounds
disclose
suspiciously
all of this.
That sounds like Joe's given up all different kinds of names and then got, no, it's Still Maintain. There it is.
Still maintain. Yeah. It's
So
like
I
how
was
you
thinking,
form a song.
He's
from
going to change
improv.
all the silly names, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Nigel and Hopeful Pump Organ. No, they were all fine. It's like all the ones that had normal names is flirting with different ideas, but all the ones named after Alan's various eating habits.
That's a question I have there. You know, when you get into the studio and you do these jokey things, and then the jokey things start sounding great. Like we have a song that we recorded, and Cameron, we needed to count in Felix, the wonderful, beautiful Felix, and he couldn't figure out when it came in because the time was all over the place. And then you just went, "Eins, zwei, drei, vier," and now I love hearing that so much that I don't know if I can part with it. I kind of just want that in the song. So what is the line between being silly and being serious, and does it actually matter?
But we have me doing a mouth trumpet solo on one of your songs, on Fishing.
Yes.
Fishing's
yes.
a beautiful song.
I'm
I've
doing
heard
a-
the live version. Really?
Doing a mouth trumpet, and it stayed in.
Mad Trumpet, to be honest, to me is not the greatest of all.
Hey, man.
Of all mouth brass instruments. I prefer the mouth bone.
I know the live version of Fishing. I don't think it has it in
It
it.
sure does.
Oh, really?
I
Well, then
tried-
I like it.
I tried to do the mouth trumpet, but it wouldn't pick up on the mic because it's a live one mic
Right.
live version with me, Tommy, and Joe sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
So we had a mic kind of overhead, just out of frame.
Right.
And you couldn't really get the mouth trumpet, so I had to go and do the solo with this voice, which was
Being a musician is inherently silly, isn't it? It's a silly thing. It's a silly thing to do, isn't it?
largely.
But so is banking.
Yes.
There you go. Anyway, how do you think the episode went, folks? What do you think? Do you think we did a resounding 7 out of
The
10?
inaugural episode.
Yeah.
I'll give it 7.8.
I think it's a solid
7.8. Wow.
a
We should ask
solid
Dan.
6. A solid 6. What do you think, Dan?
It's a good. It's an 8.1.
It's over
An
5.
8.1.
Is it over 5?
Are
That's a
you
big call
off
from
your
Dan.
bean?
That's
What do
a
you think,
big call.
Victoria? What do you think?
I don't know if Dan is.
You
Well,
didn't watch this shit,
I
would you?
wouldn't watch
And
this show.
thank you very much for our
There
guest,
ain't no
Cameron
chance
Laing.
I'll be watching
This
this
has
show.
been the Marshall and Kilkelly Incident
Cool time.
live from famous Go Watch Studios in Berlin.
Cool time.
And we are going to end the show on what song? What song
We
are
have a
we
song?
going to do? Mama number 5?
Classical
No.
gas.
Because you remember over 5.
No, we'll figure it out. And good night, everyone.
This
Thank
is
you
a
very
song we
much.
haven't figured out yet.
Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers.
I'm out the street and down the step. Underneath that arch is where we met. I hear people out here